Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to episode 51 on the other side of 50 of the Universal Lens. I am John Emilio.
And I am Henry Beltra.
And we are back.
And we're back.
For another 50. So deal with it, mofos. Joke.
For another 50. Deal with it, mofos. And, John.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Emilio.
Yes, sir.
I don't know when you will put this out, but I have a feeling it'll be around Thanksgiving-ish.
What am I putting out?
The video. This.
Oh, this video? It'll be before the break. Yeah, probably Tuesday or Wednesday.
But we'll be cruising into Thanksgiving right around then.
Gobble, gobble.
And I'm telling you, whoa, I like it. Oh, don't do that with your tongue. What was it, Manolo? What was that thing you do with your tongue? What is that? You look like a lizard. No, I never thought I'd be here saying something like this. So for me, Thanksgiving was a holiday where, another holiday. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's where we get together with my wife's families, my family. Yeah, another holiday. It means something totally different this year.
Ooh.
Because, again,
you're giving thanks?
Exactly. This is crazy.
I didn't know where he was going with this.
This is absolutely insane what I'm saying. Like, I don't even think I recognize myself in saying this. So, yeah, perhaps I'm a little mushy, but
I don't think you're not mushy.
I'm a sentimental guy. You know? So, Thanksgiving, bro, it's gonna become the most important holiday because it has the name Thanksgiving. Like, it has the name of the thing that I would preach that people give it a shot. Gratitude.
Is giving thanks.
Give thanks. It's something crazy. Whatever state of life you're in, whatever stage of life, whatever position you are in, it's incredible. If you give thanks every day and you're grateful for something every day, your whole mind changes, your whole optic changes, your whole lens changes. And Thanksgiving is coming, so it might be my holiday.
That's
I'm claiming
that's a great observation, actually.
Right?
I didn't even think of that. That with everything that we speak about, the holiday that probably encompasses the thing we speak about the most is Thanksgiving. It's absolutely Thanksgiving. It's being great. It's having gratitude for what you have in life, right? People go around a Thanksgiving table. What do they say? Everybody, let's say what we're thankful for. I'm thankful for my family, my friends, my job, my health, whatever it might be, right? And those are things that, unfortunately, you know what? It shouldn't be done once a year. You should wake up every day and do that. What are you thankful for in life? What are you thankful for? And Thanksgiving is a holiday where, unfortunately, it's more about turkeys and parades, which are fun. Yeah. I love the Macy's Day Parade. We watch every year, me and my family. Bake turkey and stuffing and all the food. I go up to my house in PA, a fireplace, the whole 9 yards. Nice. It's nice. It's a great little holiday, but it's like everything else, right? Don't lose sight of what it's actually about.
Yeah.
And Thanksgiving is going to be about like my buddy here, Henry, said, is being thankful for what you have, being thankful for the things that you have in your life and not the things that you are missing. Instead of mourning what you don't have, be thankful for what you do have. And then this thing called the universe, God, or the sun,
right,
or whatever you want to call it, listens and hears you. So
definitely not L. Ron Hubbard.
Definitely not L. Ron Hubbard. I don't think. No, I'm not a Scientology major, so I really can't speak too much about it. I don't know much about it, but
yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, the Pilgrims and the Native Americans, they got together
and they said, "Bury the hatchet. Let's go."
It's a great story. It really is. But what's our story? Our story right here, right now, is when our families get together. I'm gonna just I'm gonna lift the rug up, and I'm gonna let the creatures run out. Right? When you lift the rug, and because everybody shoves things under sweep things under the rug.
I'm gonna go sweep it under the rug. That rug gets really heavy.
I'm gonna lift the rug up, and I'm gonna let the cockroaches come flying out. Most of the time when we get together for these holidays, what ends up happening is there's certain family members that you may view less desirable than others. And there are certain
because of past experiences,
correct,
and stuff like that.
And there are certain family members that view you as maybe less desirable than others.
Can't be.
Right? But if you approach your holiday, so let's say you're going to a house and there's going to be a bunch of family, and some you like, some you don't, some you tolerate, some you're ecstatic about seeing, whatever it is. If you approach it with this really truly thankful mindset, even the worst person in the room, even the worst person to you, because everything is subjective, even the worst person in the room, you're going to find something good in that person. And it's going to allow you to approach them and say, Happy Thanksgiving. And you will be very cordial, and you could be sincere about it. And your entire day will be different. Whereas perhaps in the past, that event was, he's over there, you're over here. Please, let me sit down and tell it. But believe me, give it a shot. Truly be thankful. Truly, Bob Proctor would say, write out 10 things you're grateful for every day. Give it a shot, and you're gonna get to that dinner, and you're gonna have a different experience. And everything is different. Everything is heightened. Everything is more beautiful. Everything is incredibly peaceful. You don't have to be that person's best friend. But
no, and you can't control if the other person's going to be receptive to that or not.
Good for them.
So when you're saying, we said before, bury the hatchet, like, whatever. If there is an animosity between a couple of family members at a holiday event, like Thanksgiving, so you could be grateful for whatever you want to be grateful for in life. And if you want to, and for me, we were speaking about this before, it's forgiveness, right? We were speaking about forgiveness. And this is a great holiday to implement it. It's a great starting point. Actually, it's actually like this topic for us is hitting at just a time of year where it's a holiday that, like, that word resonates at a higher level. Is forgiveness, forgiving somebody in your life, forgiving everybody in your life, forgiving people for what they've done to you. Because when you forgive somebody, whether that person is receptive, whether that person has actually apologized if they did something wrong, or wherever that person is on their spectrum of it. But when you forgive them, there's a letting go on your part where you're no longer carrying that baggage of hatred, of animosity, of poison with you, because you need to be, I don't know if the word is justified. There's another word, I can't think of it.
Justified.
You need to be justified in this thing where I need this person. This person needs to tell me I'm sorry.
It's proof of why you feel the way you feel.
Yeah. But instead of saying, you know what, I don't need you to forgive. I don't need to hear I'm sorry from you. I forgive you anyway. But but not forgive you like, because there's people have two ways of forgiving. Yeah, screw him, I'm done. Right. Or screw her, I'm done. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, okay, I'm done. Right. I'm not wasting my time with you. Right. You haven't forgiven that person. You're casting that person aside, but you're still carrying the resentment for the event that happened.
You put lipstick on a pig.
Yeah, you put lipstick on a pig. You haven't released that event. You haven't released what that person did to you. You're still carrying it. You're just staying away from that person. Like, get away from me. I don't want to be bothered with you. Yeah. We've all been victim of that. I mean, I know I've done that, right? But I realized, well, you know what? We don't have to be best friends. And I don't know if we ever are going to be friends. We may never even speak again. But I forgive you for what you did. And I release anything that you ever did to me. Because why would I want to carry what you did, what this person might have done to you, right? Why would I want to carry that with me? All that does is poison me on a daily basis. It's like you say, vinegar. I carry this vinegar with me every day. No, I put the vinegar down, but I truly put it down saying, if you ever came to me and said, hey, let's get to a better place, I'm 100% receptive to get to that better place with this person. If they don't, they don't. But at the same time, I've released them of any wrongdoing, right? And if you want to apologize to somebody for something you've done to them, it's a great time to do that also.
Very good.
Reach out to somebody. It could be somebody 10 years ago. Like, you've forgotten it. You don't even realize. I know I've done that with people. Like, I've reached out to people 10 years later. And there was a friend of mine, this is years ago. I was supposed to go out with his sister at one point, and I never showed up on the date. And I was a young, stupid teenager.
It happens, right?
Right, it happens. And our relationship kind of got strained. But then years later, we spoke. We would speak here. Me and my friend would speak here and there. Again, I forgot where. I think it was through Facebook. I kind of saw this person on Facebook, and this was years ago when I was on, and I friended the person because I was friends with his other sisters also. It was my friends, and I apologized and I said, "Hey, listen, whatever I did back then, I go, listen, I was a stupid young kid. I am so sorry about that. That was me trying to cleanse my, you know, whether that person truly accepted it or they didn't, I don't know, but it was me saying, I'm sorry. Like, you know what? I realized what I did was wrong, and I'm and I want to just let you know, that was on me. And if that person wants to accept it or not, well, that's on them. But you could even do that. So it's not just about forgiving somebody. You could also ask for somebody's forgiveness if you've wronged them, because sometimes you might carry guilt of knowing I did something to this person, right? I did something to my friend, and I shouldn't have done that to my friend, and I should call them and say I'm sorry to them. And you call that person and you say, listen, I just want you to know what happened back then. That's on me. I know it was my fault. I'm sorry. I wasn't in the right place, whatever the excuse is, whatever happened. And you release yourself of that also by doing that, right? So I'm very big. Like, forgiveness came up this week for some reason, and I'm not sure how or why, but it did. And the funny thing is I was watching. The NFL does these things on players once in a while, like life of the player. And I don't know if you know who DeMarcus Ware is.
No.
DeMarcus Ware was a great linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys and for the Denver Broncos, right? Hall of Fame football player, stand-up guy, great work ethic, like one of those guys who just did it the right way. And on his Hall of Fame induction, and I was watching it this morning, which hasn't resonated with me more, he spoke about how forgiveness in his life has brought him more peace than anything else. And he had his father at that at the Hall of Fame. This is the Hall of Fame induction, right? Biggest moment for an athlete's career. And his father was there. He goes, and my father's in the audience. He goes, my father was non-existent in my life. He goes, never really came to any of my games, never came to anything, was never there for me. He goes, but he's here now. He goes, and I forgive him for everything that happened in the past. He goes, and I forgive him not just to forgive him, because it brings me peace knowing that I've released that. I'm not carrying that. And when I heard that, I was like, wow, look at that. I'm like, that's exactly what it's about. Right? So yeah, forgiveness, man. It's an attachment to the ego where you think you need to be right, where you think you have to be heard, where you think all those things, but all you're doing is carrying a bag of poison with you that wasn't yours in the beginning. Somebody gave you this bag of poison because of something they did to you. It's your choice to say, thank you. I forgive you for giving me this. Put it down. We're good. But it's got to be pure.
Genuine.
It's got to be genuine. That's the word.
Genuine.
Yeah.
If it's genuine, you're going to feel it. You're really going to feel it.
Yeah, you feel it really. You'll feel the release. Like,
you're gonna feel
like, you'll think of the person and the event might be there. What happened? Obviously, you don't forget. But there's nothing behind it. Like, there's no more, there's...
As they say in Spanish, rencor. There's no...
okay.
That ill will.
Ill will, yes. So that's gone. Sure. Yeah.
And I hope that you didn't hear that when you forgive somebody, you're now in each other's lives and you're all buddy-buddy.
No.
Because that's not the case. But very simple. Here, like we were talking before, the dating example. How many we haven't been in the dating world in a while, but even still, in the marriage world, it can happen. You walk in and you're a wife and or you're a girlfriend, and your husband is you caught your husband or boyfriend with another woman. There you go. All men are dogs. All men are bastards. And there you go. So now you're framing of how your future relationships are going to be. Now you're setting yourself up for what you think. That's how it is now.
It's stereotyping.
Right?
Yeah.
And because you're scarred by that moment.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, he betrayed my trust. Oh my God. Blah, blah. Right? Probably all of us have been there at some point. So that's it. No. When John was saying, you forgive him, it might take a moment. Not saying you're going to forgive him. Oh, you walk in, there's the affair, I forgive you, and you walk out.
No, forgiveness is something you do internally, and then you can let the person know if you want.
But that's it. So
if you want, and then you can forgive somebody without ever getting the opportunity to talk to them.
That's a different thing.
Like, I could forgive you, and listen, you're not in my life anymore. You're gone. You've never apologized for what you did. So for me to call you and say, I forgive you, the person might be like, forgive me for what, mother? I didn't screw you. And they're going to want to be confrontational again. So I can forgive you because I know that, and it's you. You'll know when you've done something genuinely in the right way and somebody has wronged you. You know it, right? You're not convincing yourself that you did something the right way and you were. It's not about, oh, I was right, they were wrong. It's that event happened. I forgive that person. I forgive them for acting that way. I forgive them for thinking that way. I forgive them for whatever it might be, and never get the opportunity to tell them because that person doesn't want to hear it, maybe, or that person isn't in the right. They're still attached to it. But I can release you.
Remind you of any moment?
What do you mean, any moment?
Forgive them, God, for they do not know what they do.
Yes, I'm not making that Jesus on the cross for all my RC people, Roman Catholic people out there.
Do you see how my mind is constantly connecting?
Well, because there's parallels even with religion and forgiveness that go. Sure, absolutely. He said, "Forgive them, Lord." And not just the two thieves, the people who were crucifying him, right? Not to get all religious here. He said, "Forgive them, Lord. Forgive them, Father. They know not what they do."
Yeah.
Hold on. Well, let's break that down. And Eckhart Tolle talks about this a lot, especially with religious scriptures, Catholic scriptures. Forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do. When do you know not what you do? What state of mind are you in?
Unconscious.
Unconscious state of mind. So if somebody's in an unconscious state of mind, they know not what they do because they have no awareness. They have no presence. They are completely veiled by the ego and by the thinking mind. So when somebody says, forgive them, they know not. When Jesus said this, forgive them, they know not. That's what he's speaking about. I mean, in my interpretation, from what I've I think Jesus was a super awakened individual. Like I think he was the OG of mindfulness, right?
That's his
purpose. That was his purpose, really, right? And forgive them, they know not what they do. I mean, that's the ultimate forgiveness, right? Somebody's crucifying you. They're putting you to death. And he says to his Father, who's God, right? I guess. He says, forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. That's it.
You want a cute story? Bob Proctor says?
Yeah.
When you're a kid, you ever go do something bad? And your mom says, what the hell? What the hell did you do that for? I don't know. No, come on. What the?
I don't know.
You don't know you're not supposed to do that? Yeah. So why'd you do it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because you're unconscious. You're programmed by something else.
Yeah. As a kid, it's tough too. But yes, absolutely.
But even as an adult,
sure.
Why do you do the things you do? Dude, I don't know. It's just what I do.
Yeah, because you're an unconscious person. Eckhart Tolle says, if somebody commits a crime, he goes, yes, on a practical level, we need to have laws and we need to hold people responsible for what they do. Absolutely, right? Or else we'd live in a lawless society. He said, but that person, when they committed this crime, did they actually know what they were doing? Or were they just unconscious? He goes, so how can we hold an unconscious person responsible for their actions? He goes, and that's where he kind of segued. He goes, yes, and we need to have laws. He goes, before people want to
don't throw tomatoes at me.
Throw tomatoes and string them up and throw them off a boat. He goes, yes, we need to have laws and people should be held responsible for the actions they commit. He goes, but on a unconscious level, he goes, that person did not know what they were doing. That person was not acting consciously. They were unconscious. They were following their programmed mind. There was nobody at the helm. There was nobody at the wheel. It was a ship just going on its own. Sorry if that was loud.
Autopilot.
Just go on autopilot. Yeah. So yeah, man. That's why.
So and how do we know this? How do we know this? How do we know what conscious, unconscious? Very simple. We were unconscious. You could see our actions, our behavior. Well, we were. I was totally unconscious. Totally unconscious. I didn't even know.
If you didn't know, you were unconscious. You won't know. By the way, when you're unconscious, you don't know you're unconscious.
That's right.
You just believe it. You believe this is it. I believe that those people should die. I believe that person's horrible. I believe that. There's no seeing. There's no noticing. There's no watching. There's no empathy. Because even empathy, right? Empathy is a part of. Empathy for me ties into awareness a lot, because when you're empathetic, you're feeling something beyond just what your mind is telling you. You're feeling somebody else. There's an awareness there. So empathetic people tend to be very aware people. They might not know it in the beginning, and it's a lot of times it's very confusing because they get all these feelings. But people who are empaths, who are empathetic, and I'm a very empathetic person. Like I feel somebody's pain, not physically, like if somebody is with me and they're hurting, like I get the pain in my gut. I get that knot in my throat. I feel their pain for them. So there's an awareness there, and if you don't have that, then you don't know. You're unconscious. You don't know you're unconscious. So how can you hold somebody responsible? So if somebody does something to you that's wrong, and I've had people very close to me in my life, and relationships have been strained for one reason or another.
Same. Yeah.
Right? And I've tried to apologize multiple times for my part of an issue. It wasn't. The issue doesn't make a difference, but there was two. It takes two to tango sometimes, right? And I've reached out and I've been like, hey, listen, for my part of this, I do apologize, but here's the reasons why this happened. That person hasn't fully ever accepted that. And there's people who live with that person who've been stubborn also. I forgave everybody.
Yeah, that's fine.
For me, when you're ready, if you're ever ready, let me know.
Yep.
I'm here. But that's all I could do. But I know I've released it. I've said, I'm not carrying any animosity. I'm not carrying anything. I don't. And if people want to keep rehashing it, and if people want to keep, I'm going to stay away from that because it does no good anymore.
You don't want that in your life.
We could heal in life, or we can make believe we want to heal and we want everything to be okay. So really healing and forgiving somebody, that's how you get past something. People who just want everything to be okay don't want to heal. They want to sweep it under the rug. Let's just get on with it. No, let's have a discussion and sit down and let's heal each other. Let me tell you, you tell me, and we're going to end up in a place that's even better than it was before. And there's no better time of year to do it now, right?
And you can agree to disagree as long as...
Yeah, you're not going to... Look, people don't agree on everything.
But listen, I have certain beliefs, and your thoughts go against my beliefs, and my thoughts go against yours. But hey, putting that aside, I love you. I don't want anything harmful for you. And I want you to have a beautiful life.
I do too.
As well as I do. And that's it. Final. Done. That's it. That could be it. That could be all.
Excuse me. Ooh, sorry.
But when you were talking about the empath.
Yeah.
And you were talking about yourself. About how you could be unconscious, but you're an empathic person. And when somebody is telling you something, you're feeling it.
And you become there's an awareness there. Sometimes when it's in the early on, you don't realize it too much. But.
I have so many examples of that of my own.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that strikes me is if you take me back to my early 20s, of course I wasn't conscious, of course. But
too many hormones back then.
But John, I'll be honest. So I always had a soft spot for many things, right? But soft spot for children who are hurting.
Oh yeah.
If you want to kill me, that's it. That's how you kill me.
It's a needle that pricked my heart.
My wife was pregnant. We were watching the shows where you remember those shows. I think they're off TV now, but the woman is in labor and they're showing the different complications of labor. You ever seen that on the Lifetime channel or Discovery Channel? I don't know, one of those.
No.
Woman goes into labor and
I could picture it kind of.
There's complications. Yeah. And me, I'm iron. I don't get grossed out about anything. I don't flinch about it. You could put a turd and I'm eating. Yeah, it's okay. Whatever. Nothing.
Yeah, with food, yeah.
I got no problem.
Yeah.
My wife is pregnant. Yeah, so what? Hey, they got to do a C-section. Okay. There was a scene, and the kid came out still blue. Okay, I'm having issues here, and that's on TV. And I told my wife, I said, we can't watch this. We can't watch this. This is horrible. Stop. Mm-hmm. Fast forward. My daughter has a heart issue.
Oh, Joanine, I remember. Yeah.
My daughter has a heart issue. We race to the hospital. Okay. Everything gets settled.
Yeah, I remember.
Now we're in the NICU. If you want to kill yourself, go to the NICU.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough place to be.
And I said,
God bless those nurses who work there.
And I said, I need to walk around. I went 2 doors. I look in. I saw a little girl, about 4 or 5 years old, bald, because she was going, that's it, I'm done. I can't even tell the story. I have to walk away. I can't. How do you handle this? But I was unconscious. it's the weirdest thing where, if you're an empath, you have this link to people.
But you're not fully aware yet to where you understand how to use it properly.
Yes.
And actually, it's more torturous than anything else when you're unaware. If you're an empath, if you're empathetic, and you're not in tune yet, it could be very a struggle because you're feeling all these feelings and you don't realize, and you just try to no. Instead of, once you have that awareness, you could feel it and on a different level understand what's going on.
So if you fast forward to where we're at now, I think it's a good ingredient to have if you're looking to be conscious. If it's a good ingredient because it really connects you. Like, I can't explain it. It connects you.
It does connect you, and it helps immensely with forgiving somebody. Because if you're empathetic, you're going to realize whatever this person did to you, right? They were in a place where they felt it had to be done. But it wasn't personal. They didn't do anything to you. There was an action that was taken, and that was it. When you make it personal, now you're saying, well, this person did this to me. And by the way, time out, we all do that. I've done that. Even during my awakening and all the mindfulness stuff that I do, that I always comes into it at certain points. But when you don't have any awareness, you follow it and you don't forgive the person. You dig your feet in, you get more, no, I've got to be right. They didn't say this, they didn't do that. I've done this, I've done that. I'm done. No. It's just saying, whatever you did, whatever happened, is it happening now? No. So it's done. I've released it. I release it. But like you said before, rightfully so, if that person or those people who you're forgiving aren't in a place where they're looking to make amends and they're still going to withdraw from you and they're still going to kind of be toxic, then no. When I say, I'm no way insinuating that you put yourself back in that situation around those people where they're just going to do that to you again.
Right.
Because, listen, they say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So no, I could forgive you, but not have to be with you. I mean, it would be awesome to forgive you, have you come the other way, and all of a sudden we could actually, plant the seed of a new relationship and watch a beautiful tree grow from it. That would be great, right? That would be awesome. And I've done that with people in my life, but that would be awesome. But if that person doesn't want to come, I could then just say, listen, I totally forgive you for what happened in my own heart, and just let it go.
But I think
in other words, you're not, like the kids say, right? You're not living rent free anymore in my head.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what the kids say. I'm living rent free. I'm like, what does that mean? It means I'm up here all the time and I'm not paying you rent. I'm like, well, that's good.
But and that's what I was trying to say is, it's for you.
It is. Forgiveness is for you. It's mostly for you because you actually cleanse yourself.
It's for you.
And at the same time, there is a possibility of rehashing a relationship.
If you want it.
Yeah.
Maybe you're like, okay, maybe the best thing is to keep my distance here, but I release it from myself.
Yes.
I release from it. And so here's a one of the most useful tips. And if you're following along and you're watching for entertainment purposes, well, God bless you. And you know what? Even if you are watching for entertainment purposes, I'm sure some of it is sticking on. There's no doubt about it. If you're watching, it's sticking. But if you're practicing and you're writing out what you're thankful for, here's a pro tip that I think is going to go a long way. It's going to go a long way in Thanksgiving. It's going to go a long way in Christmas, because usually around these times we spend time with family. And we might spend time with people that are not family, but basically family, right? So these are people that are important to you. Don't do this. Don't talk politics at the table. And I mention this specifically because I was a very political animal.
No, not you.
But what was important about my politics is to shove it down your throat and to prove how right I am, which is basically what everybody does. Basically, that's why you believe what you believe.
So you're not left, you're right. That's a joke.
No, I have my.
I'm kidding.
I have my feelings, but. Yeah. What comes priority for me is if I'm sitting at a table with my loved ones, I may feel that, they are blind, they are captured by CNN or captured by... Great. But what am I trying to do here? Am I trying to win a political argument, or how fun is it to
Yeah, no politics.
to have it done to me or to do it to somebody else? So
that's why I don't talk politics.
right. So the basis of our get together is going to be whatever's going on in their life. You listen, and how grateful you are to just be here. How grateful you are to just share this. And at the end of the day, like, most of the people that are there are this family, friend sphere. You mean well for each other. Express that. Harp on that. And don't harp on the other stuff, because what the hell are you doing? Like, what's the point? So usually people take this opportunity to, the talks are on the dinner table, always go the wrong way. Well, don't let it go the wrong way.
That's true.
If somebody brings up politics, my recommendation, because that's a good one for me. Like, if you bring up politics, I'm going to... No. Don't give it the plug to plug in. You take out your plug and say, you know what? And try to steer another way, because what do you want from this crowd?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's difficult to say don't talk politics, do talk politics, don't talk. Look, I'm with you on this. I agree with you 100% because I'm not a political person.
It's not that I'm trying to tell you what to do.
No, yeah, I'm not a political person at all, and I think your point is nothing beneficial is going to come from it for the most part.
Yeah,
I mean, the only way that really does work is if you have a fully conscious and aware room, meaning everybody at that table, everybody in that arena that you're at, that area, that group, everybody there is conscious and aware to be able to hear, listen, and discuss. Unfortunately,
what are the chances?
Yes, unfortunately, I would say 99% of families, you're not going to have that totality of awareness and consciousness, which means you're going to have a couple of far lefters or far righters or whatever it is, where just going to be like, yeah, and nope, and they're not going to want to hear it. So that's why I think I agree with you. It's probably not the best advice. The best advice Henry's given is, if you could steer away from those away from those conversations, especially this weekend coming up, maybe try to do that. Right?
Yeah,
maybe try to do that. And if you're
tip.
It's tip. And if you're somebody like it's me, and I have a family like on my side, my family's very political. My wife's side, they're tongue-in-cheek political. Like, it's a lot more joking than it is about the politics. Like, the veins don't come out of the necks and the heads on my wife's side when they talk, if they talk politics. Like, my family is very political. They tend to be very political. I stay silent, or I leave the room, because I know that anything I would say will be taken out of context, and I will be attacked in one way or the other, or like poked and prodded. What do you mean? What do you think?
And you find
how do you not care? And it's just an uncomfortable place to be. So you could just leave the conversation. So yeah, if you could stay with, and religion, let's throw that one in there. Religion and politics are two things maybe you shouldn't, you don't want to talk about this weekend. That's our Thanksgiving tip.
Yes.
But that said, I mean, if you have a bunch of people who can discuss something, I think discussions are phenomenal. I could discuss religion with anybody. I could discuss I'm not into politics, so my knowledge base isn't very deep with it, but I could speak about it, and I would have a conversation with somebody, maybe, if they wanted to have a conversation. But I tend to stay away from those conversations if I can, because most people are very passionate about it, and they're not thinking with a higher intelligent mind. But well,
it's like this. If you're thinking about forgiving somebody,
I was about to say, let's get back to that.
If you're thinking about forgiving somebody, that would basically signal that you're trying to have a peaceful situation. You're trying to really cleanse yourself and have a more productive and positive outlook and experience. So, you don't gain anything by entering into these. By the way, they're traps.
They're all traps, yeah.
And they're traps that are laid out before you by unconscious people. And so that is why it's called a trap, because you were once unconscious, and that still lives in you. At any moment, you catch me in the right angle, I might engage. But that's when you can click back. and say, "Oh, okay, you got me." Okay. Then you realize, "Oh, I almost did that." No, but that's not what I want to do. What I want to do is have a productive, beautiful relationship with this person, not a cantankerous,
Ooh, big word.
yeah, I'll spell it for you later. Relationship, and it can go both ways. Like you and I believe the same thing, right? The same political thing. So now we give each other fuel. We give each other plugs, right? I give you the plug,
Yeah.
and now we're in our loop. And we did nothing really.
Yeah. So, like, if you could stay away from it, this holiday,
Yeah.
instead focus on forgiving, focus on making amends with family members or friends or people you're going to be around. Or if that, like we said before, if that person doesn't want to be there, if that person doesn't want to meet you halfway, you can forgive that person, but don't try to trick yourself into forgiving, right? Like this, like we said before, to really forgive somebody, there is a peace behind it. So if I think of that person, there's nothing comes up behind it.
You feel it.
Yeah, I can feel it. So if I could think of, I have one or two people in my life who I've forgiven, and I would like to maybe amend a relationship someday in the future, but it's when they're ready to ever take the step. But if they don't, I have forgiven them. So when I think of them, there's nothing behind it. There's no anger. There's no resentment. I don't feel an energy of distaste in my body. I'm peaceful. That's how I know I've forgiven them. I've let it go. That's it.
And it could be the direct opposite for them, in the sense when they think of you.
Oh, maybe,
but you know what he did to me, or you know what he said to me, or
and they haven't, and I can't control that. I can't control what you want to do. Whoever you are behind the camera, I can't control how you want to think. I know I could cleanse myself. I could forgive.
That's it.
I could forgive you without you saying I'm sorry.
That's it.
So if I can forgive you without you saying I'm sorry to me, I'm at peace.
Yes, it's about you.
So now you're holding the bag of anger. You're holding the poison. I'm not holding it anymore. I've let go of it. You want to keep holding it? That's your choice. But I have forgiven you. So if I can forgive somebody, this is aggressive. It's kind of where the point we're trying to make, especially with Thanksgiving. Be grateful for what you have. Forgive people around you. And if you don't get the opportunity to forgive them to their faces, or they don't want to hear it from you, that you want to forgive them because they still think that they're right, or whatever, they're unconscious and they're just still, attached to what their mind says, you forgive them in your heart. And when you have a clean, loving, wholesome heart that is not carrying any poison, it beats brighter, it beats harder, it beats better. I mean, your body you are, instead of vinegar in your veins, you're flowing with, beautiful
lilies of the valley,
whatever, there's no vinegar. People say vinegar in your veins. When you use that word, it actually resonates, on a high level. There's no vinegar in my veins. So do you want vinegar in your veins? All you do when you have vinegar in your veins, only person you're poisoning is yourself. That's it. Who says it? I think it was a Sadhguru. I don't know. A couple of spiritual teachers have said it, that anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
Yes.
So I'm mad at you. I'm drinking the poison, you asshole. But I'm dying. I'm poisoning myself. No, I don't poison myself. No, I forgive. I have forgiven everybody for whatever they've done to me in my life, because it's not happening anymore. It's not here. They're memories, past events. It is what it is. Life is now, and whatever is going to be in the coming days. So why would I harp and hang on? And that could be something and listen, it could be harder look, there are tragic events that happen to people, right? I mean, people who cause the death of another person, one way or the other, or harm an individual in one way or another, not to get too graphic. And there's a trauma there, but that's all an attachment to things that happen. And that's part of trauma healing, right? People who go to therapy for trauma healing, is a letting go of what happened, because that's not who you are. Yeah. That's your identity with that thing that happened to you in the past. And you keep carrying that into the future, into your present moment. Put it down, no matter what people have done to you in life, how horrific it is. Why would you not choose peace instead of holding on to something that somebody did? Forgive them, even if it's the most heinous act.
Yes.
I've heard stories where people in court have forgiven like
The killer.
the killer. I mean, a murderer who murdered their child or their loved one, and you've seen these women and these fathers go up and go, I forgive you.
It's the epitome.
It's the epitome of it. How can I forgive somebody for
It's the
murder, for
epitome.
hurting my?
The epitome.
They were unconscious, and not to say that that person doesn't go to jail and that person doesn't pay for their. Yes, they do, absolutely. But I get to say, I forgive you, and I don't carry poison in my body anymore. That's it.
If you could do that extreme, you could do everything.
I find those people to be. I mean, when I've heard people do that, I find that to be.
That's over the
I mean,
top.
that's for me. People say the hand of God. I'm like, that is divine. That is a connection with the divine, a connection with the universe, a connection with these higher, whatever it is, to say, listen, as much as painful as it is, I'm sure it's there. That pain is probably there for that person.
Yeah, it's another level.
But I still forgive you. I'm not seeking revenge, because you know what revenge does? It just breeds more revenge. Revenge breeds more revenge, and hate breeds more hate. Look at our world today. Just look at our world. If we had forgiveness in our world today, will we have these stupid wars that are going on everywhere? No. The simple answer, you would not. But revenge and the need to be right breeds that same mentality over and over and over and over and over again.
But your example is perfect because it's extreme. In other words, imagine
which example?
The courtroom, and somebody killed your child, and that murderer is standing there in court, and then you walk up to them and you say, "I forgive you."
What? Do you know what you do that? You know what you do that for that person? You actually help them also get to a much better place.
I mean,
because
I can't fathom it. But
that is shocking for a person like that to hear.
But if that example can exist,
and it does, it does.
Think about the trillions of other ones that are not as
that are nothing. Yes.
As extreme.
No, not even nowhere near it.
Because
she called me a name.
Right. So like I have an example of somebody in my family who did a lot of harm to me, and then I have another that has something happened recently where another family member points out, "Hey, look what family member X, who's a piece of garbage, is saying on Facebook," right? Something like that. And my response to this family member, who
gotta love Facebook,
who is, by the way, on my side, I said, "Listen, let this person, other person who did wrong to us, let this person do whatever they want to do. It doesn't affect you. It doesn't affect me. You know, release anything that you have connected to that. Release it. It means nothing to what we're doing. That's it." And that was me talking, because I was, and I'm not going to say am, because I think I released it in the sense I forgive that person. Done. It was bad, but compared to that example, my shit was nothing, really, compared to that example.
Yeah, but even so, yeah, I know what you're saying. Like the lesser example should be even easier to
release it,
but you don't realize that in the moment sometimes, right?
No, not at all.
And you're thinking that's as bad as the other one in your head.
Oh my God!
Because your attachment to this fucking thing in our heads that says we need to be right. It's just it's exhausting. When are you going to be tired of being exhausted? Fighting this thing in your head, the need to be right. It's a very simple letting go process.
Yeah. And you know what? It's a lens. Because it's a lens because think of how many people you have in your life. And I'm talking about from relatives to just people you meet today because, like, you went to McDonald's. You're like, "Can I have a number 4?" Yeah, literally.
Quarter pounder with cheese.
Literally hundreds of contact with different people. You can pick out something bad, wrong, if you go through life like that, and then you hang on, you see that fucking bitch. If you hang on to that lens, well, then that's where you're gonna get. That's where you're gonna manifest, because you have that lens where. I wonder what this dirtbag is gonna. Put another one, and just say, this is a hardworking person, working at Mickey D's, I don't think anybody who says, "Well, when I grew up, I want to work at Mickey D's," and if that is great, but this person is probably trying to support a family, trying to advance themselves in the world. You're going to treat them kindly. You're going to treat them with respect. And it changes everything. It changes everything, and so on and so on and so on. I went from one extreme. You don't know the person at McDonald's to now bring it to your family. Same. Forgive, treat with respect because you want to be treated with respect.
What do they say? Do unto others as you would like others to do unto you. So I mean, another religious kind of quote there, right? Do unto others as you would like others to do unto you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's and you were talking about this before the show.
I see
these similarities
so
and these similarities in religion.
I can't get away
and
from
mindfulness and religion as a faith, not religion as a
Right.
entity.
Because it could be any.
Yeah, it could be anything. As religious as a faith, there are so many parallels with how to live a conscious life.
Yes.
Right.
Even if you don't know it, because
take man and what man has created around the religion out of it, cast that aside, strip it down to what it actually is, right? And I started my life coaching classes, right? So I'm a few sessions in, and that's one of the things that came up in one of our exercises was how as I got older, I stripped away the church from my religion and just kept it me and God, which became for me as I grew, as I kind of kept evolving, became the word universe for me. But it's 6 of one, half dozen the other. My relationship with that entity has never changed from day one. My relationship with everything around it has. Meaning, I don't cast judgment on it. I have no issues with it. It's just I don't need that for that. I don't need that for that connection. So my awareness, my consciousness, my connection with whatever this is, I don't need that. And some people do need that. That's great. If going to the building and sitting in the building is what works for you, phenomenal.
If it's productive.
It's productive. But like the parallels between religions and mindfulness are very, and these practices are very close. Now it's how everybody dresses it up along the way and things but there is so many parallels between the two. So many parallels that.
Yeah, I mean, just the 10 Commandments alone.
They're moral codes. I mean,
they're moral codes. And you look at them. You do not steal. Do not lie.
Yeah, it's the way you would want people to act. Imagine the world actually followed that moral code.
So now, think if you're a universe creator, and you say, "Whoa, like I have all these little ants. I need them to behave. I need them to act well. We got to put these people in line." So you have religion that offers that. Religion offers moral codes. Religion offers how we're going to treat each other. Religion, you call it Jesus, he calls it God, he calls it Buddha, you call it Allah. For the most part, it's there to.
They all preach basically love,
to
kindness,
teach us how to be good people.
Yeah,
how to go along with each other, except what's going on in Israel and Palestine. But that is I almost used the wrong word. Is an aberration of something else. In other words, I know that the Muslim religion teaches peace because I'm friends with a lot of Muslims, and they will say, "No, man, it's the opposite. We're very peaceful people." The same thing with Jews. I'm friends with a lot of Jews, and he's like, "No, we teach family, peace." So, at the root of their religions is goodness, but what's going on is an aberration of political jockeying and the.
Well, yeah, that's where that's where it goes from a faith of something greater than you, an attachment to something greater than you, to the thinking mind now having an agenda of how things have to be. And when that happens and you fall in line with it and you listen to the egoic mind, well, that's how war starts. That's how my land, your land, my people, your people, my building, my religion, your building, your religion. That's how that all starts.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll get to a place where pureness can.
Why not? You see, but even
I don't know.
Even I don't know, but I would like to say we're on our way. Do I know when we get there? No, but I know we're on our way because there's definitely there's a very strong, conscious, mindful push going on in the world right now. Like mindfulness, meditation is starting to take hold. Now, the problem with this, the issue sometimes is it gets skewed a lot of times, right? Like it gets taken out of context. People try to use it for a way to get something instead of realizing it's a way to live, and the benefits come from that. But I mean, I think there is definitely a push going that way. I mean, there's a long way to go, and hopefully, you know, we get there. I mean, when our lifetime, I don't know. I'd love to say yes, but you know, I mean, I think the world has a long way to go still. But if we could learn to just forgive without needing to be told, I'm sorry, and just forgive you anyway, your actions change. Your actions change. The people around you notice that, and you start to create change. So you get a choice. You want to make the world a better place, forgive somebody this Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Forgive somebody. Forgive somebody who's done you wrong.
Yeah.
But truly forgive them. Let go of the need. Don't forgive them, and then when you're talking to Tony later on, he goes, yeah, I know, but he was a fucking asshole. He still did that to me. I jerk, whatever, but I forgave him. Oh, you didn't forgive him? You didn't forgive him. The person might be, you know, whatever, but you didn't forgive them by saying that. You're not forgiving them. You're casting them aside. Forgiving them means if that person came up to you right now and said, excuse me, went down the wrong way, and said, hey, listen, man, I'm sorry. Like, you're not gonna be like, the fuck? Yeah, all right. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, no worry about it. You'd be like, dude, no problem.
That's the ultimate, really. It's like if that person comes to you and says, I'm sorry, oh my God.
Excuse me. Yeah, that would be nice, but I could still forgive you. So forgive somebody this year. Forgive, let go, cleanse your own heart, cleanse your own soul.
Yes.
Don't put the poison down. It's not worth it. And see how your life starts to change.
Yeah. And make of it.
And be thankful.
Make of it what you want to be productive in. You know, you don't want to spend your time bickering.
No, because you free up that energy to focus on things that are more important. People who harp on things stay stuck, right? If you harp on it, what's going to happen? Are you going to move if you're harping on something? No, because if you're harping, where's your focus?
Yeah.
How can I progress if I'm harping on this?
Yeah.
Stuck on this. This must be no. This can't be left like this. No. I've made my peace with this, and I'm gonna move on. And the people who don't are the people who stay stuck in this, and stuck in this, and stuck in this, and stuck, and they stay stuck. You have a choice.
I gave a few tips before. I gave one tip. Try not to talk about politics. Try not to talk about religion. Useful tip. Turn off the news. It's a tip. You do with it what you want. But since I've turned off the news, it's much better. Because the news is nothing but a negative machine. So that leads me to my second point, is reframe everything for the positive. For yourself. Not for anybody else, for yourself. In other words, you know, somebody cut you off in traffic. I'm using a very stupid example, but somebody cut you off example. So what would you usually do? Oh, you piece of shit, or whatever it is you're going to say. No, very simple. You don't engage in that behavior, and you breathe and you say, okay, I'm sure that person must have some sort of reason that they're rushing, you know, maybe, who knows, you know, whatever it is, it's a different. Your blood pressure didn't go, I'm saying for you, your blood pressure didn't go up, your day isn't ruined, your moment isn't ruined, and you're going to go on, and you're going to go on, and you're going to be fine. You're not going to ride his ass, you piece of shit, because that's not productive. I gave you a stupid example to just basically say,
that's a good one, because road rage is something that's real.
Well, to go so that when you go to your Thanksgiving house and all these things, so you're not,
those triggers might be there.
You're not influenced by the news, because who cares about the news? I told you, I have a friend who's saying, what do you mean you're not watching the news? You need to be informed. Like,
I have a friend who tells me the same
literally,
thing.
And he's like, you're not doing yourself any service by not being informed. And I'm saying to myself, keep living there. Keep living there. You know, I'm not going to disagree with you, because that's not what I'm here to do. But because then you go down that rabbit hole. You keep doing I'll keep doing what I'm doing. I know that for me, it's better to not look at it. And you know what? It doesn't mean I won't. Yeah, I'll pop in. and we're done.
No, you're not. You're not. The difference is you're not addicted to it.
Correct.
You could digest 5 minutes of the news, become informed of what's happening in your area, and move on.
My brother-in-law.
Instead of attaching to it and being like, "Do you believe that he said that? Do you believe that they said that? Do you believe that that country did that?
Then
Do you believe that?" Yeah, now you become engrossed. You become triggered by it.
It's easy to do.
Yeah, you become triggered by it.
So my brother-in-law, who I'm going to see this Thanksgiving, I love dearly. You know, he has a Tiger Showman's MMA place, and he does something called a 90-day challenge. Whatever goes on over there, the point is, I'm giving you a 90-day challenge. Try 90 days of being thankful. Every day, wake up, be thankful for something. Every day, don't watch the news. Every day, reframe things for the positive. And after 90 days, come and tell me that you haven't changed.
No, I think it's almost impossible not to see change.
And when you see that change and you feel it, I don't want to go back there again.
No, of course not.
I don't want to go back there again. Because back there is a stupid place. It really is stupid. Like, we used to talk about shit that had no bearing on anything, and we get upset with each other, had no bearing on anything. So, this Thanksgiving, and for every Thanksgiving here on after, really understand, because, again, I'm 43, you're 49, fresh 49.
Fresh, baby.
If we live as per our expectations, it's supposed to be 100. I'm hearing that nowadays people are passing 100. So if I'm going to live another 60 years,
woo, it's a long time.
And I'm going to live those 60 years the way I lived the first 40-something, I don't want that. I want...
Chances are you wouldn't have if you lived in the way that you live in the first 40-something. Because you'd be full of piss and vinegar. And being full of piss and vinegar.
It wasn't all.
No, not you. I'm not saying you. I'm saying for people who are...
Yeah.
You know, it
wasn't all, but I'm looking forward to what it's going to look like, what it's going to feel
it'll
like.
have a benefit that'll give you a greater chance to get there, sure.
What it's going to look like, what it's going to feel like, and how I can, like a drum, repercussion to those around me. You know, I can send those waves to those around me, which is your point of be a mirror. Hopefully, you reflect. Hopefully, you're that guy in Thanksgiving when you feel the pot is about to boil. You'll stand up and be the mirror. I want to say, and this is unlike, but I want to say a speech that everybody's here for. Yeah, that's right, because and you're going to say a speech. I want to say, thankful I am for everybody here. I want to say how thankful I am that we're here. I want to say thankful I am that we have this delicious food. This is incredible. I mean, watching the kids grow. If anybody there can go back to that stupid, mindless political conversation,
I'm sure there might be something.
There might be. It'll take a few, but at least you have a few minutes where people can reflect.
Yeah, sure.
And do that if you need to say something.
Just go around the table and do everybody, let's say what we're thankful for, but really thankful for.
Yeah.
Something that really affects your life. Something that's, even if it's the smallest thing. Something and remember what you're thankful for.
The smallest thing is not the smallest thing because it's incredible. Because you say it's not. Like if I say I'm thankful that we're healthy, the smallest thing. It's not. It's huge. Huge. Every day people get the notice. Every day people get their pink slip. So
say the day you're born is the day you start dying. Yeah. So you never know.
So we're thankful we're here,
every moment,
and we're thankful that we can use this. When I say this, I don't mean the brain, because we talked about this before. You can use your mind for so much good, for yourself and for those around you. I mean, if you're gonna leave that there, if you're gonna waste that, well, that's on you. That's on you, honestly. I mean, if you want to leave it there and waste it, go ahead. It'll still be there tomorrow. You have an opportunity tomorrow, but it's one less day. But Bob Proctor said, "I got you thinking." Bob Proctor has a sand clock.
Yeah, sure. Right? And these are the days of our lives,
right? And he says, "See here, this here sand clock." He goes, "Let the sand at the bottom represent the amount of time that has passed already in your life. and let the sand on top represent how much more you have to go. And he goes, now I had a good friend of mine, Bobby, whatever. He goes, he was 26 years old, and he was sure he had a lot of sand up there. He goes, turns out he didn't have 30 minutes. He died that day. Quickly thereafter, he hit some sort of bridge thing,
Wow.
and the guy died. He was a very good friend of his. He goes, and now my grandma, who used to live with us, she was 64. She always said, I don't have much time left on this earth.
I had a
He goes,
grandmother.
and she lived to be 97 or the point is, we don't know how much sand we
is
have
left in our clock.
We have no idea. We have no idea. So if tomorrow is it, and I left that grain of sand, hey, hopefully you left an impression that was very positive, and not Biden is better than Trump, or Trump is better. Hopefully,
amen.
Hopefully you left that impression, as opposed to,
it's true.
Yeah. Hey, remember when you were 18, you're supposed to go out with my sister? You're a dick, bro. You know what you did. That's not that's not what we want to do, and it's in your power. It's in all our power to affect it. Again, because we have a choice. You have a choice. You're not an animal. Yeah, we are animalistic, but this is what separates us from, the cat, the dog, the squirrel. The ability to work with this, and again, not the brain, the mind. The brain is just another organ, another instrument.
Yes, I agree. Agreed.
There you go. There's my soapbox.
No, man, good. Listen, preach it, say it. No, put it out there. The more people hear it, the more people do it. The more people get it, the better off we are as a whole.
Yeah.
So
I feel like the Coming to America. Give it up for Mr. Randy.
Oh my
God.
That was Arsenio Hall, right?
There you go. And the Lord bless me. Oh, God.
That was a great movie.
Oh, my
God. Oh, that was a great movie.
Shout out to Tino T. We used to talk about that every day. That was our movie, and we used to literally every day, car ride to school. What are we talking about? Coming to America and pumping our music. It's crazy.
Good morning, America. Fuck you. Yes. Fuck you too. That was great. That's a great movie.
It's so good.
They don't make them like that anymore, unfortunately. Anyway, so I think we're gonna wrap it up. Thanks everybody for listening in. But remember, just if you could forgive anything and anybody, do it for your own benefit this week. It'll make for a better holiday overall.
Give it a try.
But it will definitely help you on your path, if you're on this path, to getting to a place where you want to be. And carrying ill will and carrying resentment and carrying any of those feelings only keep you from progressing. So if you want to progress in your life, if your perspective has changed, if you see the world differently, if you want to live a different life, if you know that you don't want to be the way you are, you have a choice that you can make immediately in this moment right now and going forward to live that better life and start putting your energy towards what you want to put it towards, right? So today's topic was forgiveness, and it ended up being an important one just because the holiday was coming and just something that kind of resonated with us during the week. So we hope that you guys got something from it. We hope that, all the joking and stories and everything, but we hope that you guys got something from it. We hope that you understand what we're trying to say with this, the point that we're trying to make, and how beneficial that can be for you. And forgiveness is not something that you do once and you don't do it again. It's like meditation. It's a practice. You keep forgiving. You keep meditating. You keep being mindful. You keep being present. This isn't a one and done thing. I don't forgive you today and never forgive you again. I forgive you every day. Forgiveness is something you do constantly. And as long as if you could understand what I'm trying to say here, and if you could get on board with that, you will see that the fruits of your work are going to be so worth it, how your life is going to be so different, how your waters are going to be much calmer. Even when they get churned a little bit by something, you're going to see how it's easier to calm them down, because you're just not going to be, you won't be kicking and flailing, making it worse. So, that said, we wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Happy gobble gobble. Everybody have a great, everybody have a great Thanksgiving. Eat some turkey, some tryptophan. Tryptophan. Take that nap. Have some stuffing. Have some pumpkin pie, some
pass out on the
cranberries and
couch.
walnuts. Watch a little football, whatever works. Some Black Friday shopping if that's what you're into.
Pass out on the couch with a dog on your lap.
Pass out on the couch with a dog in your lap. Yeah, man, whatever you want. So yeah, we wish you guys happy Thanksgiving. Now we'll do our little meditation to close it out. And thanks to anybody who's all of our new followers. We've had a little bit of bump in viewership lately, so thank you for everybody who's been watching us. We hope you guys are enjoying the content. And again, Apple Podcast, YouTube, Podbean,
all over,
is where you're really going to find our show mostly. Like I said, Spotify and Google. Google doesn't do video, so they stopped us a while ago. I didn't even realize it. And Spotify, I know people are going to say Spotify does video, but for some reason with our platform, with Podbean, it doesn't. It comes down as an MP3. It's the way the file is created that I'd have to separately load it up to Spotify. And honestly, it's just a lot of work. And I have a lot of things going on, and I just don't have the time to do all that. Yeah. So Apple Podcasts, Podbean.
This is not our full-time job.
No, or and honestly, just go to YouTube. Just go. I was at a meeting, a homeowner association meeting. I was talking to a neighbor, and she said what I do, and I kind of said, "Well, I was a contractor, but now I'm studying to become a life coach. I do a podcast." She said, "Oh my God, you do a podcast?" So she said, "Where is it?" And I told her, "Just go to YouTube." She typed it in, she found it, she started following us right away. So if you like if Podbean, and if you're a Droid person and you don't have Apple, and if Podbean you don't want to download the app, which is just download the app and you can watch there or listen there. Just go to YouTube. It's the easiest way. That'll be the easiest way. So that said, let's meditate on forgiveness.
That's it.
All right. So everybody, close them eyes or don't close them. It's up to you. I like to close them. Excuse me when I do this. So we could close our eyes. Don't close our eyes. But I would say try to sit in a nice, comfortable position. If you're sitting, if you're standing or walking right now, then continue doing that, obviously. And just start taking some deep breaths. Like I said, we try to do the 3 to 4 second inhale with a 3 to 4 second hold, and then a 3 to 4 second exhale. Just so we can bring our attention. We have a few seconds to actually bring our attention to the inhale. Keep your attention on that hold. And then exhale. And focus on that air leaving your body. Breathe in again. As you're breathing in and holding and exhaling, bring up somebody that you want to forgive in your life. Anybody. Somebody who has done you wrong in one way or another. See that person. Now, right now, you might notice some sort of an emotion that comes up with it. If you do, that's fine. Notice the emotion. Let's not judge it. Let's not label it. Just notice that it's there. And let's work on forgiving that person. Forgiving that action. For that action does not exist anymore. It's something that has happened. You can let it go. Put it on a cloud and watch it float away, if that visualization helps you. Because your attachment to that will only hinder you. Your attachment to that event will only keep that vinegar in your veins. So any feelings or thoughts that come up with that, let it go. Now let's picture, if I forgave that person, how great would that feel? How great would it feel to say, it's over. I forgive you. I've let it go. I've released you of it. I've released myself of it. Can you feel that? If you could feel that, then there it is. All you have to do is choose it. This isn't not something that you need to figure out how to do. It's a simple choice. I choose peace. And if your mind wants to bring it back up, let it. And you could choose to forgive and choose peace again. Eventually, it'll catch on. Let's keep breathing. And I just wanted to focus on forgiveness today and being thankful for what we do have. you could feel your body's just relaxed right now, that's great. If you feel a little bit of tension somewhere, notice where it is. No judgment. No judgment that it's there. Let's take a couple of more. Last one. And slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. And see you later. Excuse me, guys.
Have a great Thanksgiving, guys.
Yep. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving. We'll catch you next time. Peace.